Hello everyone, it's Anne from Curious Moon Design, hosting another video for Ribena. Nina has kindly asked myself and another artist called Martha to interpret the Facebook prompt, reuse, recycle, repurpose. The Facebook group Mixed Media Emporium is a wonderful, friendly, inspiring group headed by Nina Ribena and Kylie. They both make amazing videos and are such talented artists. I'll put the link below. Do have a look. I know you will be hooked. I love making little notebooks to go in my larger journals. They are wonderful add-ons and you can take them out with you on a walk and make notes and collect things and write down observations to add to your main journal. These are a few I've made from scraps. This was a wall-mounted map that my sister had. It was laminated and it was huge, and I cut it up into little sections. I put a little shell on there, and this is just a cover, just ready to go. So that's one I'm going to use at some time. This is a little notebook made from some of the printables we have in the Rockpool Journal kit. Sometimes when I print out they don't quite go in through the print well enough, and I have to reprint them, so I use all the scraps and things. And these are just odd papers I put in there, so that's ready to be made up. This one's from a collage. Again, I've just added little papers in there. They aren't properly made up yet. In this little box I've got some things that Jen's collected from time on the beach. Bits of old seaweed that was washed up, cuttlefish, some green glass found on the beach, shells. These are some dried flowers. I just like to have them on there just for some inspiration. Maybe I'll draw them, and I just like to have them out there. Not wishing to leave the summer quite yet, I thought I would do an ocean seashore notebook. Okay, off we go. I'm going to collage as I did last week. I'm going to completely cover this piece of old file paper, both sides this time, and I've just gathered together some paper that hasn't printed well, that I've been tearing up. I wanted it to be sort of themed towards the ocean, seashore, some music paper, more collage paper that some book pieces, and so those I'm going to tear up and start collaging. I've got an old dictionary. I'll see if I can find some sort of seashore words. When I use dictionaries, I have to be careful with the wording, so if I'm doing it quickly, what I tend to do is just tear down the middle of the words so that you can't, and then down this bit, then you can't actually read the words, just in case they may offend anyone. So I'll do that, and I might ink up a few of the edges before I lay them on the collage. So I won't go over all the collaging bits, but I'll get on and do that, and then I'll come back because we've got quite a lot to do. Okay, back again. I've collaged the piece of paper or card. I cut off the file tab and I've done both sides. There's a mixture of papers on there, sort of a sea greeny blue theme going on there. So I'm ready to start making the notebook, but I want to build up a few layers and I want a bit more colour in here. So I've been looking around to see what I could reuse to find some nice blue ocean colours. So what I found to reuse, I don't know about you, but I go through quite a lot of ink cartridges. Now we do recycle these, but at the moment the place that takes them can't take any more, so I thought, what can I do rather than just throw them in the bin for the moment. So there's a sponge in here, and I always think there must be a bit of ink left in there, even though this bit's empty. So what I've done is I've had it in water soaking overnight, and I've come up with this lovely sort of clear blue ocean looking colour. So it's not a thick colour, it's going to go on like a wash. So I'm rather pleased with that. So I'm going to get my collage, I'll put some paper down and then we'll try it out. Okay, well I've got this old piece of collage paper that I thought I'd just try this on first. So I've got this large brush and hoping it'll go on just like a wash. I think that's going to be quite a nice colour. I don't want it to overpower the piece. Might have to do it a couple of times. Okay. Okay, let's try this piece. I'll have to let it dry each side and then it's going on quite nicely. Oh well, we've got a little bit of use out of that old ink cartridge. So I think that will do. So I'll let that dry. I quite like a little bit of sandy colour as well. And then I'll do the other side and see whether it needs another coat. I don't think so. And then I'll come back. I'm going to do some stamping over the top. Well, I think you can see it's come out quite nicely. It's gone sort of a sea green rather than a darker blue, but that's the effect of going on to other papers. But I rather like it. I've had it pressed between some books. Now I've cut out some images from books. So I'm going to, that's a ticket. I'm going to place these in different areas. And build up some layers. But first of all, I feel I want to put a little bit of fabric on here. I love working with fabric as well. I don't want too much on. That's the problem with collage. You build up layers and you end up obscuring others, which but I might just put a little bit on the edge. And I quite like this and this one because it's picking out, and it will pick out different colours from the things I've cut out. I've also cut out a fish, as this is going to be my Rockpool Journal, and I can use it all through the winter as well. So I rather like that. And also what I thought I would do is stitch around the edge just to give it a bit of definition, and I'll do a zigzag stitch, maybe in a green or a blue, but if I put some fabric on there, and it could then go through to the other side. Cut down here. That would be quite nice too. Okay, so I'll do that first, I think, the stitching and fabric, and then of course I've got to fold it in two and put it under some heavy books again just to make sure it's nicely folded. Okay, a quick peek before I press it. So I've zigzagged all around and just added these strips of fabric. I stuck them down first with a glue stick, and I just think they add a little bit of interest and texture to the piece. I'm going to ink the edges with just a brown ink, and as I say, then I'll fold it and press it overnight, and then come back and start adding some pieces to the collage just to add some interest and layers before we fill it with pages. Well, that's nicely pressed. I folded it and had it under a couple of books. I've left this unstuck. I quite like that being loose, but this one's got a stitch line down here. I love the little areas where the blue wash has gone on and not others. It's almost as though it's organic. It's just turned out that way. It's really lovely. Now I could leave it like this because it's very nice as it is. And notebooks are, I feel, very individual things. It's hard to buy one off the shelf that you really love. So I love making them up for myself. But I think I am going to collage over the top of this one. I have found some images in books. As I said before, I've got this lovely, magnificent fish and some shells, which I think go really well. So it's just a matter of placing things where you think they look lovely. And I find that I have to do this several times, or sometimes I can get it just right, sometimes I have to go away and then come back and place them in a different area. I've got a ticket. I think sometimes, you know, you have to get a bus to where you want to go, or a train. That would be quite nice on there. I also want a nameplate. I've got this one, but I think I'm going to get maybe a colour one. I'll try that and see how it looks. I'm also going to place some stamps on here. So I've got this compass, which I think will look nice. So I'll do that as well. Maybe down there. So I'll fiddle about with that and I'll bring it back when I've finished, see what you think of it. I've got some pages to go inside. I've just got to cut them down to size. So these are out of books, and some of our design pages, some line pages, music pages, and I've also got some that I had in my drawer, some graph paper, which is quite nice for drawing on, and some tracing paper. So I'm going to cut those and put them in. And I also found some bits of straw ribbon, which I think will be quite nice for the tie-up. And put that in my box. And so I'll go away and fiddle about with those for a little while, and I'll come back, show you what it looks like. And well, I think it's finished. Well, I've said before, can't really say anything's finished with art, can you? So I've layered up the images that I found. I've done some stamping, put a little bit of washi tape on. I've added some of this raffia type straw, and I've put a shell on the end. It's going to be a little Rockpool notebook. Some stamping here. I put a little bit of gold washi on because, you know, when you're looking in rock pools, it's the sun hits it, and often you see some lovely shiny bits down in the depth of the pool, and beautiful shells in there. So, and then I just added the notebooks. In here I've added some seaweed that was washed up that Jen pressed some time ago, and it's rather a lovely slide there. I just added those numbers there, put it in with washi tape, not washi tape, masking tape, and then an actual photograph of a rock pool, as I think it's really nice to print out photos occasionally and pop them in a sketchbook. It's nice to have something to actually see and touch. And then these are just the pages I've added, some from books, some lined paper, and I've just cut it down to size. And I did a little bit of collage on the back. I had this little pocket, and so I put the tickets in there, and I just layered up some images there. So I'm rather pleased with that. We've used lots of things that were going to waste in the waste paper, and also some images from books, some ink from an old cartridge, and collage. So I hope you've enjoyed that. I'd love to see what you make. I'd love to see you again, so do come back and see some more videos. And thank you again, Nina, for inviting Martha and I to interpret your Facebook challenge. I hope to join in a few more of the prompts and post some pictures. So take care, everyone. Bye for now.